Well, good morning and welcome to Integrative Preparedness. How are you all today? I'm Steve Smith. If you don't know who I am, if you hadn't been here before, I'm going to do a couple today. Going to do two videos. The second one is going to be the one I was going to do to begin with. It's going to be about why so many preppers fail. And that's an important one. But I'm going to do this one first because I got a couple of comments from Karina, who I believe is from the UK. And because of something else that she said that people in the UK are kind of, they're not awake as to what's going on or what the threats could be. Very much like the United States and probably every place else in the world, right? If you're not tuned in, you're not tuned in. And if you are, you realize how many people aren't, and you realize that that's a danger. So she asked the question, do I have any specific advice for single females? And so I want to address that. Before we do that, it's here, guys. It is here. I showed this, I think. I don't remember if I did it on this channel or the American Reversion channel. By the way, I just did one on the American Reversion channel. We're going to war. As a result, and I did a dissection of last night's State of the Union speech and the rebuttal, which was horrible. So if you want to see that, go over on the American Reversion channel, the link's down below, and watch that. But we are going to war. But anyway, here it is. I just put this up yesterday late, and I said yesterday it wasn't quite available yet. It is now. It is the only commie idea liberals hate, and of course you know it's the crossed AKs, right? And it turned out beautifully. Let me turn this around so you can get the full 360. Okay, it is a way. I know orders. This just got put up on the website stonemont.us late last night, and orders are already spilling in. I know a lot of people want this one, and I had a good. So there it is. I had somebody come on because I said, hey, buy one for yourself, buy one for you and a friend so that you can both look at each other while you drink at them. Buy a bunch of them and give them away. I had a commenter give a great suggestion. She says, or he or she, whatever. I think it was a she. Buy a bunch of them, take them over to a gun range and use them as giveaways for voter registration. What a great idea that is. I put out stuff that helps you take your message out to the world, and this is one of them. Let me take a sip and then I'll get started on this one. And that is the website down below, stonemont.us. You know that's where you can get all my books and t-shirts and mugs and things like that. By the way, we are finally caught up on all of our orders. That feels nice because we've been running behind a little bit. Okay, so for Karina and anybody else who is thinking about as a single female, what advice do I have? Well, I'm going to have pretty much the same advice that I have for everybody, but with a couple of extra things. And it doesn't matter where you are. Now, it makes it more difficult in the UK because they don't let you have guns. Your socialist, tyrannical government over there doesn't let you have guns. How in the world did that happen? I mean, the British are some of the most warlike people there have ever been, and they allowed themselves to be, led down this garden path of peace and everything like that. Well, okay, I could go into that, but I'm not going to. First off, if you're in America or any place that lets you have a gun, have a gun. Carry the gun with you. Always have a gun with you. Okay, I'm going to be doing one pretty soon on choosing a handgun for beginners. If you can't, which is most of the places, UK, Canada, Australia, so many places. Okay, they don't let you have guns. That's because they're a tyrannical government. Our government is trying to become more and more tyrannical. They don't want us to have guns. They haven't been successful yet. We will see what happens, but I think we got enough people who are pushing back that it won't get as dire as it is in other places. We will see. We will see. Our revolution was started when they not only taxed us on things they shouldn't tax us on, but came and tried to take our guns. We will see what happens. So, Karina, if you or anybody else, if you can't have a gun, always have something with you. Now, I hear that in the UK you can't even have a knife. Okay, can you have a nail file? Can you have a bottle opener? You know, when I used to teach seminars for women, self-defense for women, I told them, go down, and this was before there was concealed carry allowed in these states. Go down to the grocery store, or Walmart, or whatever, and get you one of the old church keys. You know, with the one of the sharp, you know, the can openers on it. Put that on your key ring, and as you walk into your car, wherever you're walking, have that. It fits nicely right inside there. Have it right inside your finger, and if some moron comes out and grabs it, you just come up there and you give him a nice new facial, or any place else, or down, you know, wherever. Okay. Always, always, always have a weapon. Okay. Next thing, always be aware of your surroundings. And I don't mean just, I mean almost be paranoid. Almost be paranoid. Now, I didn't say be paranoid, I said almost. Get so close to paranoid as you can. Be careful. Recognize, understand your environment, everything that's going on around you. And that's something that people who don't pay attention to their surroundings, they are just victims in waiting. They are begging somebody out there, come attack me. I'm not paying attention. Okay? Pay attention to everything. If you're walking from your house to your car, from your business to your car, from whatever, look at everything between you and where you're going. If you got to go down the street and turn a corner, watch everything between you and the corner. Do not assume you can get there safely. See, the assumption that you're going to be safe is what sets people up for being attacked, for not being safe. Everywhere you are, watch and understand everything. And people will say, well, that seems like just a terrible way to live, to always be afraid of things. No, you're not being afraid of things. You're being careful. Okay? You don't have to be afraid. You are careful. See, what the difference is you are taking responsibility for your safety. And there is a great feeling in being responsible, right? Okay? It's like having money in the bank. The person who doesn't have money in the bank is not addressing the world around them. They're not accepting the fact that something could come up. I could have car problems and I need money for, and then when it happens, they're not ready, right? As opposed to the person with money in the bank. Say, okay, I've got money in the bank because I know things can happen. That is a great feeling as a result of the responsibility that took them to that point. Okay. So always be aware of all of your surroundings and be ready to respond immediately to any threat. Okay? Run, hide, fight, do whatever you can, but be ready to fight if you have to, because your chances of survival are going to be much, much better if you fight than if you don't. Secure where you live. I know that a lot of people in the UK live in group housing, I mean apartments and attached housing and things like that. It's not quite until you get out into the rural areas that they live as much in, you know, houses like we think of, you know, in the United States, very large houses with large lots and you know, single family housing. But wherever you live, secure that. That is your fortress. That is your castle. Secure it against invasion, and that means hardening your points of entry, hardening your doors, your windows. Now, hopefully, you own where you live so that you can make these retrofits and not have to ask permission of a landlord. You know, secure your windows, secure your doorways, secure everything. And not just, you know, putting on the extra hinges and the extra strike plates and things like that. But do you have mechanical devices attached to your windows and doors that would keep somebody from kicking them in or opening them forcefully? There's not a lot you can do with glass unless, you know, except putting bars over your windows. And who wants to live in something that looks like you're living in a prison cell? But, I mean, if you live in that dangerous an area, better to have it and keep people out than not have it and let people in, right? Okay, so then, as far as preparedness goes, the quality of the people around you is paramount. Okay, women tend to have more friends friends, which really means acquaintances, but they think of them as friends, than men do. Now, a lot of guys nowadays, the modern guys, they have friends all over the place, right? Men didn't used to be like that. Men used to be very, very strict as to who they considered to be friends. Okay, and because they knew that they were the head, they were in charge of their own little tribe there, and that was their family. And that was their ultimate responsibility. And back in the day, men's concerns were the support and protection of their family. Now, too many men, their concerns is watching, some sports team or being involved in activities themselves. How many men are out there that spend their time playing softball, pickleball, golf, whatever like that? Okay, that shows a personality to me that is concerned with, even consumed by, and interested in their own activities and entertainment. That is not the mark of a man, in my opinion. Your concern needs to be the protection and support of your family. Love, lead, protect, provide. Okay. So in the old days, men had a tendency to have a smaller group of friends and acquaintances except their business than did women. Sadly, not so today. But women have a tendency to have a lot of acquaintances, friends, okay? Because women are more gregarious for the most part. It used to be, right? Make sure that you have been a good judge of the people you let into your life, males or females. Make sure, develop a good circle of friends, I call it. Who can you depend on? Not just who loves to be around so they can get the latest dirt and the latest gossip from you. Who can you depend on? Who are the people that you know or develop that have strong personalities, that they themselves are responsible? Don't let irresponsible people into your circle of friends. Okay. If they are irresponsible, keep them at a distance. They are a danger to you. For the most part, I have always said, I've said this since I was in my 20s when it occurred to me. Most people aren't bad, but they are weak, and that makes them dangerous. It's dangerous to allow weak people into your sphere. Don't let them in there. Okay. Yeah, you can go out with the girls after work and get some drinks and stuff like that, but you know that most of the people in that group you can't depend on. Keep them and recognize them for what they are. If you have a couple or a few solid people that you can depend on, you're fortunate. Develop those, value those relationships. Those are the people you can depend on if everything falls apart. Okay. Prepare your food, water, defense, and shelter. Food and water. This doesn't have anything to do with being a single female. Okay, this is something that should be done by everybody. Single females, single men, families, whatever. You need to, and you've heard me say this before if you've been with me very long, you need to separate yourself from dependence over those external systems, including the government, over which you have little or no control, and you have no control over the government, or the power company, or the light company, or the water company, or the gas company. You have no control. You need to be able to survive, but more than survive, continue to live well, but at least survive, and make that your first step. At least survive, and then work on living well. If all of those things went down, it makes it more difficult if you're living in an apartment than if you're living in a house because of storage, right? But you can still store a lot of food and water and everything like that. Keep it to yourself, especially as a single female. Keep it to yourself. Keep your preparations to yourself. If you can get your close friends to also become prepared, that's better. Okay, but I wouldn't spill my guts about, oh, look, I'm preparing because I'm scared. Well, they may, you might be able to depend on them in many situations, but what if it comes to everything comes down and then they haven't prepared and then they're coming to you and all of a sudden your food is only lasting half as long as it would have if they didn't know. You want to try to get them involved in preparedness, and you can do that by simply throwing out, a little bait about, man, I'm really nervous about this, what's coming down, and I've watched a couple of channels that say, we should be preparing. What if everything collapsed? And see what that person says. If they poo-poo it, stop it. Don't talk any more about it. If they say, yeah, I can kind of see that, then you might say, hey, they've got I'm thinking about maybe, getting some extra food in my place. What do you think? And if they say, yeah, I think they're better, be good. Well, then say, let's go down to the store Friday. They're having a sale. Let's go down there and let's buy some extra stuff for ourselves. We don't have to tell anybody else about it. What do you think? And if they say yes, okay, now you've got to start. And do that with the people you think you can trust. By doing that, they'll think that you're just starting off, but you're getting them started off too, and you're giving them some cover. They might not have done it on their own, but if they see that they're doing it as a part of your friends, it's kind of like, hey, you want to go on a diet starting Monday? Things like that. Get those people, because the more prepared they are, the better support they're going to be for you when everything trashes. Now, if you live in a built-up area, if you live in London or Surrey or, I don't know. I've only been in England once. That was, I never got out of Heathrow. But I've watched a lot of movies about England. Like to go there sometime. I think, I don't like the government. I don't like a lot of things that have happened in England since they started letting all the foreigners in. But and my background is mostly English. I've always wanted to go there. But anyway, if you live in a built-up area, try to have a place to go if everything collapses. That could be a relative that lives out in the more rural areas or in a smaller town. Could be a friend. If you don't know anybody like that, if I were you, I would try to develop some contacts. Now, how you can do that is by joining clubs or organizations. Okay, can you join a gardening club? Can you join a bird watching club? That they have a tendency, I'm sure, to go out into the outer areas to watch birds, right? Okay, you will make some contacts. And one of the most important things you can have, if it all comes down, is people, but the right kind of people. Can you join? Is there a hiking club? You may say, well, I don't really like hiking. Join it anyway, because of the people that you'll meet. And don't just assume that everybody is in this club is going to be like-minded. They may not. The only interest you share might be watching birds or hiking. They have no interest in preparedness, but it allows you to establish a relationship. Okay. And then take it from there. There's going to be a million more things that I could say, but I think that's the basics. Realize that if you're a single female, or if you're a single male, or if you're a head of a household, if you're a single mother, if you're a single father, if you're a family, the main thing is to accept the responsibility of providing for your own welfare and protection. Simple as that. What goes into that, you can figure that out. But start with this. And Karina, I hope that's been helpful. Other people, we have a very large percentage, very high percentage of women who follow this channel, and I love that. I love that because, and sadly, many of them are the ones who are taking primary responsibility in their family for preparing, and they're having to try to drag their husband along because he just thinks it's silly, doesn't want anything to do with it, or wants to, if it's not done on a golf course, he has no interest in it. And that's too bad, because trying to prepare by yourself can be, you know, a lot tougher than if you have some help, right? So there's probably going to be people on this channel, Karina. Read the comments. Read the comments. I'm sure we're going to have a whole lot of people who are helpful down there. And those of you who can help Karina or anybody else with this same question, do so as well. I'd suggest a couple of other things to you, Karina. If you're not with us on the Patreon channel, join us on the Patreon channel. The link is down below. It's only $1 a month. I don't know what that is in euros or pounds, but you can get it. I mean, they'll take care of it. It's only, you know, $1 a month US, so it's not much. I mean, it's next to nothing, right? But you're going to get a lot more information on the Patreon channel. Okay, and then if you haven't read my books, I suggest that you're going to love the story. Number one, you're going to love the story. But there's 6 novels in serial form: the Reversion, the Revival, the Renewal, An Appeal to Heaven, The Blessings of Freedom, and Hostages to Fortune. And I pack so much information in there in a great story. You won't even realize you're learning. Well, you might. You'll be jotting stuff down. Oh, I hadn't thought about. Oh, I need to do that. Good. That's why I did. That's why I wrote them. First one came out in 2017. People have been learning from these books since then. And I tell people I could make videos for 100 years and never begin to cover everything that I've already covered in detail in these books. You can get these from Amazon. Now, if you're in the UK, you can't really get them directly from me because it just costs too much for me to ship these over there. Excuse me, I got an itchy nose. Somebody must be talking about me, probably. But you can get them on Amazon. And the link is down below. For you guys in the States, you can get them directly from me, and I sign them and get them through our stonemount.us website. That link's down below. But everybody else around the world, go on Amazon, and that link's down below. You can get them in paperback or Kindle or Audible. I think you can get them in paperback in these other places. It kind of depends on where their printing places are. You know, I don't know. That you'll have to, you can figure that out. But they're on Audible now, so you can watch them, you can listen to them, you know, while you're gardening or while you're, if you're in London, while you're in the tube. But stay aware of what's going on around you, you know. So that's what I would suggest, and you'll like them, and you'll learn so much out of it. And it's the same place. Remember, as I close this out, you can get our mugs. The latest one, the only commie idea that liberals hate. You're going to love these. So that's my advice to you, Karina, and anybody else who's out there. Thank you, and I'm so glad that you want to prepare, because not only will you improve your own life, but by doing so, you're going to put yourself in a position to where you can better help others, and maybe you can get other people interested in and then involved in preparedness, and that helps everybody. Okay, well, remember that we prepare well today in order to live well tomorrow, and I'm going to get off here in a little bit. I'm going to do the other one that I was going to do today about why preppers fail, and so stand by for that one. You all have a good day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.